Hi everyone! Today we're talking about dry mouth, aka xerostomia, something that affects about 25% of the US population. Now, while dry mouth may seem like a minor inconvenience, it can actually have some serious effects on your overall health and well-being. Let's talk about it. So first, let's talk about why dry mouth is such a big deal and more than just an annoyance. Number one, there's the discomfort and pain aspect. Having a dry mouth can make eating, talking, and even swallowing uncomfortable or downright painful depending on the severity of your dry mouth. Now, because of the discomfort, this can lead to poor nutrition. If you're uncomfortable eating certain foods, you might be more inclined to eat softer foods, which can lead to poor nutrition and systemic health issues. And it's not just the discomfort that may lead you to eating softer foods. Saliva is actually the first step of digestion in our system, so without adequate saliva to start the digestion process in our mouth, this can also affect our gut health. Now, another big issue with dry mouth, particularly in terms of oral health, is it actually greatly increases the risk of cavities, as well as oral infections like oral candidiasis, or basically a yeast infection in the mouth. Both cavities and a yeast infection are not fun. They can be painful and pretty debilitating. The other thing I already kind of touched base on is dry mouth can affect your speech as well as your taste. So if you can imagine, again, depending on the severity of your dry mouth, if your mouth is dry, potentially even your throat is a little bit dry, you can't communicate effectively, and you can't taste the foods that you're trying to enjoy. So all of this can lead to some frustration and even isolation from society. This in turn can lead to mental health issues. If you can just imagine for a second, you can't eat the foods you enjoy, you can't talk properly, it's uncomfortable, potentially even painful. It comes to a point where you don't really want to hang out with anyone, you don't want to eat anything, and this can actually lead to depression, and that is not something that should be ignored. So, if you feel like you have a dry mouth, and it's not just because you partied hard last night, because alcohol also dries your mouth out, we'll get into that in a little bit, but if you feel like you have a dry mouth, please discuss it with your dentist or your doctor at your next visit. Now, let's talk about what causes xerostomia. There are actually several common culprits for dry mouth. One of the biggest ones is actually medications. There are over 500 different medications that can contribute to dry mouth. This includes antidepressants, muscle relaxants, and decongestants. Another thing that contributes to dry mouth is alcohol. So obviously alcoholic beverages, but also did you know that a lot of mouthwashes can contain alcohol in them, which dries out your mouth, which is the opposite of what you're trying to achieve with mouthwash. So if you're using a mouthwash, take a look at the ingredients, make sure it doesn't have any alcohol. If it does, consider switching to something without alcohol in it. Another thing that contributes to dry mouth is certain health conditions. Things like diabetes, Sjogren's syndrome, lupus, and even menopause with all the hormonal changes. This can all contribute to xerostomia. And then there's the lifestyle factors. For example, smoking or even secondhand smoke can contribute to dry mouth. So if you don't smoke but you hang around a lot of people or in areas where there's a lot of smoking going on and you're breathing in that air, that can contribute to your dry mouth. Now, one key thing to note here, dry mouth is not directly related to age. So while older adults may experience it more often because of medications or other underlying conditions, it's not an inevitable part of aging. By the way, if you guys are finding this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Now, at this point, it may seem like I just bombarded you with all this scary information about dry mouth. So the question is, how do you manage it? Glad you asked. So number one, I'm a big proponent of tackling the problem at the source. So try to identify the cause of your dry mouth. Obviously, if it's a medication, talk to your doctor, see if it's possible to switch it out to something else or adjust the dosage or something. Perhaps there needs to be a major lifestyle change. Take baby steps so it's not so overwhelming, but consider that lifestyle change, whatever that may be. The other thing, pretty obvious, is stay hydrated. I personally carry a huge water bottle with me everywhere I go and just kind of drink as much as possible throughout the day, because otherwise I'm not going to and I get dehydrated really fast. So stay hydrated. Next, you want to avoid irritants. So steer clear of alcohol, or at least reduce the amount you consume, as well as tobacco and acidic foods like citrus. Now this might be kind of counterintuitive, like you think, oh well, when I eat an orange my mouth is like super watery. But because it's so acidic, it actually messes with the pH balance of your saliva. So in the long run, it can make your dry mouth worse. Another thing to do is try xylitol, whether it be with chewing gum or mints that contain xylitol. Xylitol is a type of sugar alcohol that is typically derived from birch trees, and consuming about 6 to 10 grams of xylitol daily can help stimulate saliva flow and help prevent cavities. Another thing you can try is a DIY mouth rinse at home. So basically mix 1 teaspoon of baking soda with 8 ounces of warm water and swish with that 3 to 4 times a day. Don't reuse the same rinse. swish and spit out and then use it again later. But you get what I'm saying. The other thing is using oral moisturizers. So there's a lot of moisturizers or gels on the market. One product worth looking into is Dr. Jen's Dry Mouth Gel. Now, I personally love Dr. Jen's as a brand. I use their toothpaste and their floss. I use it on myself and on my toddler. And I've actually made a few videos explaining why I like their brand and their products. I'll leave links in the description below to those if you guys want to check those out. But they recently came out with a dry mouth gel. So typically dry mouth gels incorporate xylitol as the main ingredient to help stimulate saliva flow. The difference with Dr. Jen's is not only do they incorporate xylitol, but they also include hydroxyapatite and vitamin K2 and D3 to work synergistically, not just to moisturize the mouth, but also to remineralize the teeth and support a healthy oral microbiome in general. The other thing is you want to consider your toothpaste. So typically, if it's already been established that you have a dry mouth, your dentist may have recommended and given you a prescription strength fluoride toothpaste to help with that. The problem is fluoride actually needs calcium and phosphate ions found in healthy saliva in order to be effective. This is a problem if you don't have enough healthy saliva to begin with. This is why nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste is a game changer. Now, there's a lot to be said about hydroxyapatite in toothpastes, and I have made videos explaining hydroxyapatite and what to look for in terms of quality and quantity, concentration, and all that. I'll leave a link in the description below to a video I made on that. But for the purposes of this video, I just want to mention that I personally, again, love and trust Dr. Jen's brand of nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste. Not only that, they also have a product called Super Paste, which combines fluoride and hydroxyapatite to work together to help prevent cavities and strengthen enamel, even in a dry mouth environment. Basically how it works is the nano-hydroxyapatite provides the calcium and phosphate ions that the fluoride needs in order to help remineralize the teeth and protect against cavities. And it doesn't depend on the quality or quantity of your saliva. Now, another thing to consider is photobiomodulation therapy, aka red light therapy. This can help stimulate saliva production by encouraging new cell growth. And lastly, consider investing in some good quality oral probiotics to support your microbiome, as well as improve the quality of your saliva. Anyway, make sure to check out the description below for more information, as well as links to the products that I mentioned in this video. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care of your teeth.